Hi guys, Jeff Gamble, Indianapolis, Indiana, and I'm super excited that I started working with Amy Buckles. We actually met about a year ago. We had run into each other because we both work in energy work. We both work in the massage business here in the Indianapolis area. Had a bunch of things in common, started talking back and forth online, and just recently I was able to actually share with her this opportunity, and she said, yeah, absolutely, this makes sense for what she's doing with empowering moms and empowering women. And the subject we're going to talk about is actually credit repair. So what we need is a huge favor. We just want to tell you a little bit about who we are and what we do. So in case you run into the right person, you would be able to refer them to us. Now, the reason credit means so much to me is I made about every financial mistake you could make growing up. At the age of 19, I got married while in college. I came home on Christmas break and I told my mom, who's a school teacher, my dad, who's a college professor, that I was going to quit school and I was going to start my own business. And that did not go over well. But I did it anyway. And that spring, unfortunately, I got sick, went to a doctor. The doctor sent me to another doctor who sent me to a specialist. A specialist ran some tests and came back and said, unfortunately, you have cancer. Now, this was years ago. I ended up in the hospital. I had 2 surgeries. I went through 6 months of chemotherapy. I made it. I'm alive. I came out on the other side, a little less weight, but the biggest problem was I owed all of the treatment, all of the hospital stay, all of the chemotherapy, pretty much everything. I mean, a couple $100,000 worth of debt at the age of 22. So I'm like, okay, now what? How do I get out of this one? So what I did is I ended up going into real estate. I watched a bunch of late night TV, and there was a bunch of programs on TV that said no money down, and I thought, well, that's the way to make money. I might as well go into that. And I was pretty successful. I ended up buying and flipping 18 properties in 36 months here in the Indianapolis area. From that point, I started a real estate company. We started recruiting people. We got our team built to 15 people. I thought everything was going to work out. I ended up buying a really nice home in Fishers. It was 4-bedroom, almost 3,000 square feet, white picket fence, the whole 9 yards, corner lot, new cars. I thought everything was going to work out. Unfortunately, 2007 and 8 happened. And I went from making great money to 6 months later living on my friend's couch, spending my last $1,000 buying a POS pickup truck. Life was not good at that point. Had over 200 incoming phone calls for collectors and everything. I mean, I got caught bad. I ended up in front of an attorney soon after that. And I turned in all the paperwork, pulled my credit, and he said, unfortunately, you owe close to $3 million. And when you owe $3 million, there's no payment plan for that. So he said, I've got 3 options for you. Number 1, you can get on a plane and fly somewhere we can't find you. And that sounded really good at that point. 2, maybe you have a rich relative, or you can win the lottery, but you're going to need to win a lot, because even if you won $1 million, you're still $2 million in debt. So that's a problem. Or 3, you're going to have to file bankruptcy and start all over again. And unfortunately, that's what I had to do. I had to file Chapter 7, wipe everything out, and start over again. Now, when 60 days after that, the bankruptcy discharged, and I had like 38, 39 negative items on my credit report. So I was like, okay, now what do I do? I ended up reading the Fair Credit Reporting Act in 1971. I ended up reading 3 books, one of them Life After Bankruptcy, Credit Repair for Dummies, and then there was another book just on credit repair. And I created a 6-step system to get myself out of this situation. My mid-credit score coming out of the bankruptcy was a mid-400. For those of you who don't know, that's not good at all. That's like an F- on the credit scale grade. But what I did is I implemented these 6 steps, and I was able to actually wipe almost 99% of everything off my credit, read the right way, got it all kind of in order, was able to establish credit, get everything done, and my mid-credit score 7 months later was at just over 700. My top score was 729. My low score was 691. Pretty phenomenal. Not the best credit score, but definitely awesome, less than a year out of a $3 million bankruptcy. So from that point on, I started getting known as a credit guy. I started helping hundreds of people. I still give away that 6-step system, but friends of mine in December of 2017 actually brought me a company that just does credit repair, and they said the same thing. They said, hey Jeff, would you take a look at what we're working on? You got a real estate background, you know a lot of people. Would you just look at this, so if you run into the right guy, you can refer them? I said sure. And they said, well, the company's called FES. It actually started in 2004. Their main focus is credit repair. They're actually located up in Michigan, a suburb of Detroit called Farmington Hills. Mike and Paramel, the guys who started the company, are still the guys running the company 14 years later. The first 10 years, they did a lot through traditional advertising. About 4 years ago, they started the outside sales rep portion of this, and they also started combining just their protection plan membership. They started combining other services. So not only do they do credit repair, but they do credit repair. They have a credit builder program teaching you how to establish credit and raise your interest rate. They have credit attorneys to help out with litigation and payment plans. They have smart credit, which is like Credit Karma, where it gives you all 3 bureaus, all 3 scores, and instant updates. They have LifeLock to protect your identity there after the fact. They have a program called Debt Zero, which helps you get out of debt. My Care Plan, which provides you a will and a trust. Financial Lockbox, which is like a file in cyberspace, so where you can put all your important documents like your social and your birth certificate and maybe any insurance you have or your tax forms and everything, and you can upload it all. So that way, in case anything would ever happen, you can press a button and get it all back. They also have 3 websites that they're connected to save money shopping. One's to save money traveling, and one's to save money off of prescription, a discount prescription card. So that package of stuff put together to help out with credit is $89 a month. And I was like, well, that's actually pretty reasonable in the realm of credit repair. That's actually really on track. Also, there's a one-time $99 initiation fee. So a customer, it costs them $188 to get started in the program, and then $89 a month thereafter. So there's 2 questions I could ask. One is, how much does it cost? And the second one, how long does it take? What I found from working with people, most people will see updates happen to their credit within the first 40 to 45 days, and then the majority of people are going to get to where they need to go somewhere between 3 to 6 months. Most people, only about 10% of people, need more than 6 months to kind of get to where they need to go when it comes to credit. But every person's credit file is different. So we can't give you an exact day. We can just say, here's the averages. And the average that I've worked with, I've done credit now for almost 20 years, helping people do this. It's about 6 months for most people. Some are able to get it done in the first 40 to 45 days. Some take 8-9 months, but rarely is it past 12 months to get everything back on track. So with that being said, my friend showed this to me. I was still skeptical. I decided to sign up as a customer and a rep of the company just to see how it worked. I entered all my information into their back office and got them the documents they needed to verify who I was. And about a week later, they sent me a packet. That was mid-December. The packet was already filled out for the 3 credit bureaus. I took out each one. There were 3 little packets in there for each one of the credit bureaus. I signed each one of them, put them in an envelope, mailed them off. I literally forgot about it. Towards the end of January, I got an email on my phone, and it says FES has removed 2 of the items, 2 of the negative items. They found 3 items. 2 of the negative items have been removed, and my credit score went up 41 points. Now, I had good credit. All of a sudden, the 41 points put me into the excellent credit range. So I was like, wow, this is awesome. It wasn't so awesome that the score went up so much, because I've seen, things do that, but it was automated. I didn't have to talk to a single human being to do this. And with that, I said, man, this is definitely a marketable program. This is something that people are going to want to, A, have, and B, I wanted to know more about the money side. So I called my friend James and Jeff, and I was like, okay, how do we market this? What are we looking for? He's like, really, we're looking for 3 kinds of people. So that's what Amy and I are doing. We decided to actually not only use the program for ourselves, but we're actually working with this company, and we're looking for 3 kinds of people as we expand. Number 1, we're looking for people, inside sales rep, to sell that credit repair program to people. We've got great materials. There's a flip book that you just read through with people. Some people do it online. Some people do it over the phone. Most of us work from home. And we just share it with customers. If customers decide to do it, they go buy through our website, and we earn $100 for each customer that comes in, and then $12 a month every time somebody makes a payment. So you're actually able to build a book of business out of this. This is a very spare time, part-time thing. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there who have credit issues, so we just share that program with people. The second type of person we're looking for is somebody who actually goes in and signs up corporations. We're talking about real estate corporations, mortgage corporations, auto dealerships, bankruptcy attorneys we work with, financial people. All these people run into people who have credit issues, so we can actually set up the entity itself. That's all done through corporate. If you have a background in business-to-business sales, we can get you some information on that. The third type of person is who I was really interested in. That's actually the recruiter trainer position. They're trying to expand this company, so they're actually looking for reps or looking for agents, just like a real estate agent company would. Real estate companies, they'll go out and recruit hundreds of people. Why? Because they never know who's going to actually need a house, buy a house. Some people do it very spare time, and that's their intention. Some people do it full time. That's their intention. The recruiter trainer position is exactly the same. Most people that work with us are working spare time or part time, and there's a graduated scale starting at $40 all the way up to $185 every time a representative of the company recruits another agent of the company to use the product and to represent them. There's a bunch of bonuses. There's a car bonus with this program. I'm not here to really tell you all about the details of that, but if you have an interest in management, if you have an interest in recruiting, if you have an interest in leadership position, we're looking for good people, both part-time, spare time, and full-time. So if you want more information on that, please get back with Amy. Contact her. If she can't answer it, she'll get me on the phone. I'll help you out. We're working together on this. We're really excited. We really appreciate that you took the time to watch this. If you know of anybody, send them our way. Thank you so much.